Welcome to PTSD Self-Healing Show. I'm your host, Pantea Kalhor. Episode 6, Releasing from Trauma with Tracey Osborne, Trauma Release Coach. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and pre-order my book, Naturally Conceived, through Amazon. Thank you for watching. Welcome to PTSD Self-Healing Show. I'm your host, Pantea Kalhor. Many of us are hit by trauma, but wish to be recovered and move forward to better future. The point is, by the time our past trauma are not resolved, we will be triggered by unprocessed past experiences constantly. Known for her honest, open, and bold approach, Tracey Osborne helps women to empower themselves, and she's a trauma release coach helping survivors release their past and create a life they can cherish. A domestic abuse driver, Tracey connects with women on a global scale to help and support them in their healing, bringing them the tools they need to move past their past and create lasting self-transformation. Welcome to my show, Tracey. I'm
Thank you.
Honored to have you here. All right.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, tell me about yourself first, your story, and how you became a trauma release coach.
So my story started long ago, about when I was 5. My parents divorced, and I went to live with my mom, who realized she couldn't cope being a single parent. Then I was sent to live with my grandmother, and she was not the greatest. She did her best, but she was verbally abusive. And so shortly after that, a few years after that, I went to live with my father, who my stepmom was incredibly emotionally abusive. Wow. And so that started a lot of trauma there. Mm-hmm. I have abandonment issues because of it. So I get triggered very easy if I think somebody is going to reject me. I have rejection issues, which is great for sales, let me tell you. And then when I was 18, my boyfriend raped me on my senior prom night. And I've had a couple other incidents since then. I've been in multiple domestic abuse situations. Let's see, most recently, a year and a half ago, I lost my husband. He died from a heart attack.
Whoa.
So I have lived a lot of trauma over the last several years, several decades, actually. Yeah. Oh. And that's what started me on my journey. Learning how to heal myself was the catalyst for becoming a trauma release coach.
Great. Yeah, I see you had bad experiences, and that's good that you could process these traumas, because if you cannot process these traumas, you can see the triggers all the time hitting you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So do you think the PTSD is recoverable?
Recoverable? I think it's manageable. Do I think you can ever be cured from it? I don't think you're ever cured from it. I think you learn how to cope with it, how to live with it, how to manage it. You learn what your triggers are and learn how to either manage them, avoid them, deal with them. But I don't know that it's something you can say, I'm cured from PTSD. I think it's something that kind of stays with us forever.
But you can actually have a peace in your heart. Mm-hmm. And yes, and you can just get to this realization that life continues. You
Mhm.
can have better life, and whatever you have in your heart, of course, it stays with you, but
Right.
you will find some ways to manage your PTSD.
Mhm.
So, what was the most important factors that help you to manage it?
For me, it was, well, it's ongoing. It's not something that I think I'll ever fully be done managing, but um, it was a four-step process that I actually have been creating. Acceptance. I had
Mm-hmm.
to accept my past. It happened. I can't deny it. I can't hide from it. I can't run away from it. It's there. Um, I had to forgive, a lot of forgiveness. And that's forgiveness of myself, not necessarily other people, but forgiveness of myself for feeling the shame, the guilt, the anger, the hatred, um, the self harm, all of that kind of stuff. I have to, or had to, forgive myself. And every once in a while, as I'm continuing this journey, new things will pop up that I had forgotten, memories that were suppressed. And so I have to start back at square one, um, with those memories and work through them. Then I go through the release process, which uh, can mean releasing people out of your life, things, um, emotions, feelings, for sure. Um, for example, I was a caregiver for my stepmom for about 4 years. And, this is the woman that emotionally abused me throughout my teenage years. Um, and I thought, okay, well, we're adults now, so everything should be okay. Well, since she couldn't do anything to me, she couldn't emotionally abuse me anymore because I wouldn't stand for it. She turned on my daughter and
Wow.
started bullying my daughter. And I finally just, I had enough. And I contacted my brother and sister and said, "You've got to get her out of my house. Get her out." And so we did, and I blocked her. She has no way to contact me. I have completely blocked her out of my life, and I had to do that for my own self-preservation. So, releasing people from your life that are no longer serve a purpose, they're toxic. It's okay, let them go. The emotions and feelings around that. And then I rewrite my story. It's okay, this happened, but that doesn't mean it has to keep happening. So what do I
Exactly.
want the
Mhm.
future to look like? I have this blank canvas now. What do I want to fill it with? So that's my process for healing. And again, it's something it's cyclical. As new memories and things pop up, then I have to start the process over and work through the process with those memories and those feelings.
These are exact steps. Many survivors do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the point that you actually release yourself from the toxic environment. That's
Mm-hmm.
must. Because we end up going through the loop of bad relationships with some close, even or mom or dad or brothers, sisters. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the first step, because you can't change this relationship. It takes a long time. You I mean, you build up this relationship for a long time, and these attitudes cannot be changed. So it's better you just get rid of it
Right.
and have a better environment for yourself, because you are the first one to protect yourself from
Mm-hmm.
harming other people's, and protect yourself, other people harm you.
Right.
Yeah, I actually talked to one of these PTSD survivors, and he said, he had a dog, starting to have a dog, and he was recovered from PTSD by raising a dog and training. I love it. And I see you have a few dogs.
Yeah, yeah.
Do they
Most of
help
them are not
you?
in the room with me, but yes, they absolutely help me. If I have a moment where I'm feeling triggered, I'm feeling overwhelmed or anxious, they know. And they kind of all just surround me and
Wow.
start loving on me. It's like they know. They'll start licking me and doing what they can to get me out of my current state. So yeah, they're very intuitive.
Yeah, I see one of my friends also had a cat. She
Hmm.
actually divorced from her husband after a long relationship, but the
Hmm.
cat really helped her. I
Hmm.
mean, the bond between them was amazing. And then
Hmm.
she actually, she after some time, I saw her. She looked, I mean, great. She could actually pass some of these traumas, accept
Hmm.
herself, and started a new life again.
Yeah,
Animals are great if you can raise them and be with them because they have feeling, they have emotion, and they have sixth sense.
they do.
So yeah, they
They
can feel
do.
you. That's great. So okay, how do you help other PTSD survivor? How do you help them to recover from their emotions? What are your programs or steps to help them?
So, we talked a little bit about my four-step approach, the accept, forgive, release,
Mhm.
rewrite. And I help them work through those various steps. My focus is more on present and future
Mhm.
and letting go of the past.
Mhm.
Because I'm a coach, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a therapist. I don't want to focus on the past, why it happened, all of that. That's what they do. My focus is on going forward and releasing the past. It's always going to be there. Our past is always going to be there. But I have a couple of analogies that I like to use. One, think of your past as a photo album. You bring it out every once in a while. You thumb through the pictures. You have a couple of laughs, and then you put it away. And that's okay. That's exactly what you should do with it. Trauma survivors tend to bring out that photo album and we live it. We look at it constantly, day after day after day, and we don't put it away. And we get stuck in the past and we start recreating our past and bringing it into our present. So we have to put that photo album away. The other analogy I use is you're driving a car. And if you're driving a car, you're on an open highway, you've got this beautiful horizon in front of you, and then you've got the past, what you've already seen behind you. You're not going to drive your car looking in your rearview mirror or looking behind you, right? You can't drive that way. You have to focus on what's right there in front of you, the present,
Exactly.
and look to the future, to where you're going. And so
Yes.
that's how I work with my clients, and that's what we go through. We go through letting go of the past and looking to the future, but living now.
What a nice methodology. I like that. Good. So you shouldn't, because if you look back, you definitely have an accident. Yeah.
Exactly. If you're
Yeah.
looking back, if you're looking back behind you, you can't see what's coming up in front of you. And I like to tell people you can't trip over what's behind you.
Mhm. Do you use a specific method like EFT or acupuncture, hypnosis?
I use a couple of techniques. Journaling is a big one, a big
Mhm.
tool that most of us use, I think.
Me too. Yeah.
Meditation is another big one. But I also use a healing modality called Ho'oponopono. It's a Hawaiian methodology. And it's a very simple phrase or very simple mantra. All it is, and this is in the forgiveness stage.
Mhm.
Um, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And you just repeat this over and over again. It doesn't matter what order you get it in, because sometimes I'll be repeating it and I have it all crazy ordered. Sometimes I'll just say, I'm sorry, I love you. And I'll repeat that. As long
You
as
say it to yourself?
you
You
just
say
say it in your head. Yeah,
uh-huh.
just in your head. Just so when I'm doing a cleaning or cleansing or a meditation, whatever, I just repeat that in my head. And it is amazing how that releases all of those emotions and anxieties. Um, Unfortunately, sometimes it brings up new stuff because we've cleared away the old stuff. So now that makes room for the new stuff that we have to work through. But that's okay. That's part of the process. But it's very simple. It's, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. It doesn't have to be about anything specific. Doesn't have to be about any specific person. You just say that over and over again, and it just does its thing. I don't know how, it just does its thing. So that's one of the big modalities that I use
Hey.
alongside journaling.
Yeah, actually, I use journaling myself for
Mm-hmm.
years. Like after I was hit by trauma so badly, somebody robbed my car, threw me out of the car,
Mm-hmm.
and I had back injury for years. I had these nightmares. But journaling really helped me because I could write my story. It's kind of a healing process
Mm-hmm.
because, first of all, you discover many things from you, from yourself. So,
Right.
cover what is inside you. You bring everything on surface. And that's great because deeply you try to process what is killing you, what is choking you, and that's the part of the process for me really helped. So everybody has its own process, own
Yeah.
healing. Sometimes you can do art, or you
Mm-hmm.
have some other thing that at least you can focus on something um, out of your trauma and your past experiences. I think
Mm-hmm.
something creative can help you to just distract you from whatever happened to you.
It can, absolutely. I love art, and I suggest that. It varies for every person what's going to happen, or what tools they're going to use. Um, Art is fantastic for getting your feelings out on canvas, or whatever um, art method you use. The journaling, again, you just get it out. You're having a bad day, you just pent up emotions, you write it out, you never look at it again, just get it out. Don't keep it inside you. You have to get it out. And that's the biggest thing, is you have to get out the trauma. That it
Mm-hmm.
has to be released, or else it sits inside us and it festers and it becomes toxic and poison within our bodies, and it causes physical issues, physical ailments, autoimmune
Amazing,
disorders,
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah,
So you have to get it out. Whatever
yeah,
works for you, you've got to
exactly.
find a way.
Because when you have, sometimes you see depression, it starts from
Mm-hmm.
silence. That's my that's my methodology. I said, okay, if you're silent for so long or quiet because there is
Mm-hmm.
something deep in you that is choking you, and you
Mm-hmm.
need to be released from it, so you need to talk about it. And if you cannot talk about it with others, because men and women are very different, usually women like to talk.
Right.
Yeah,
Men
but
don't.
yeah, men, no, they don't want to talk. So they close the door, especially teenagers. I've seen it in
Mm-hmm.
so many times. And that's a bad sign because it may lead them to kill themselves or have a lot of bad thing may happen to them.
Self-harm, right.
Yes, because they don't talk about it. They don't want to talk about it. So they just try to process it and try to repeat the bad things in themselves, and that's not good. that should be released, that
Mm-hmm.
should be processed. So if they cannot talk to others, it's better they choose something creative, artistic, something that
Mm-hmm.
can occupy their mind, and they just do it. Or as you as we talked before, they may keep a dog or other animals that is lovely, that can help you to actually occupy your mind and occupy your time, because you
Mm-hmm.
spend time with them, so you are not alone anymore.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Being alone is definitely hard when you're a survivor. Um, it can be scary, depending on what your trauma is. Um, and when Mark died, I felt lost. I wasn't alone, I had my kids and everything, but I still felt alone because that my best friend was gone.
Yeah, that's
And
not
yeah, and it takes you into some dark places when you're left to your own devices sometimes. So um, yeah, I agree. You've got to be able to talk to somebody or have some kind of an outlet.
yes. All right, Tracy, do you have any website or any specific program to recommend to my audience?
Yeah, you can go to my website. It's traumareleasecoach.com. And everything about me is there. My programs are there. My packages are there. My social media is there. If you have questions, you can schedule a discovery call, and we'll get on the phone for a half hour, and I'll answer your questions. We'll kind of do like a mini coaching session, if you will, so you can kind of get a taste of what to expect. So yeah, it's
Great.
traumareleasecoach.com.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Tracy, for being our guest.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
It's been fun.
Yes, it was. And I learned a lot from you, and hopefully my audience also enjoy it. Thank you so much.
Good.
Yeah, bye.